Was in the UK, a defining promise from number 10 in London. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has declared Britain's immigration system broken. That's correct. And he's also vowed to fix it now. In a sweeping reform plan to be unveiled in Parliament, Labour proposes doubling the wait for settlement to 10 years, raising English test standards for all visa applicants, and for the first time, in fact, their adult dependents as well. Fast-track path will remain open, but only for critical roles like nurses, artificial intelligence experts and engineers. Critics, meanwhile, warn this could split families. Supporters say it's long overdue. But with net migration still topping 700,000 viewers, the pressure is on, and the pressure is on Keir Starmer. Labour calls this a clean break from the past. Opponents call it a scramble for control. As the immigration white paper nears release, the one thing is but certain: Britain's migration debate is far from settled. And for more on this story, Sanam Arora, the founder and chairperson of the National Indian Students and Alumni Union, joins us straight from Ground Zero in London. Thank you so much for taking out the time, Sanam, and I hope you're able to hear us well now.
I can, thank you. Hi.
Sanam, my first question to you: does increasing the settlement wait time from 5 to 10 years also risk discouraging skilled migrants from, choosing the UK as a place to settle and work?
I think overall, yes. Any change to the existing, any change that makes things harder is, of course, going to set a precedence that things are not as easy as they used to be. And therefore, those who are the best and the brightest talent will think about what is the best offer to me on the whole. And so certainly that doubling of indefinite leave status will impact many, especially from India. But I do think that overall, in the long scheme of things, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It definitely, however, will deter those who are only coming from an idea of settlement. It'll deter those, which I think is the impact the government wants to have.
Stay with me, Sanam. I'll, in fact, take our viewers to Starmer's bite and what he said before I come to you for the next question. Here it goes.
So as this white paper sets out, every area of the immigration system, work, family and study, will be tightened up so we have more control. Skill requirements raised to degree level. English language requirements across all routes, including for dependents. The time it takes to acquire settled status extended from 5 years to 10. And enforcement tougher than ever, because fair rules must be followed. Now, make no mistake, this plan means migration will fall. That's a promise.
You heard the man there, Sanam. Very important question that's also being propped up here is how does one balance, in this case, Keir Starmer and the Labours, how will they balance the need for language integration with concerns about family separation?
Look, I think what they're saying ultimately is a fair ask. If you are coming to the United Kingdom, you ought to be able to speak the language and speak it so that you can actually integrate properly with your communities, with the country, and actually contribute more effectively, which is ultimately the angle at which the current Labour government is coming from, is that immigration should work for the UK and therefore contribute to the UK. There is, of course, no doubt concerns around how this will impact, from the point of view of human rights, how this might impact families who may no longer meet the immediate requirement to be able to deliver on those English language requirements. Having said that, there are trainings that can be undertaken, but where this is unfair and where this is,
evidence that raising these requirements, in fact, improves economic outcomes for migrants? Are there any studies, or has the Labour doled out any evidence of these? No, they haven't?
I haven't seen evidence being doled out yet. In fact, there are a number of different modelings and statistical scenario forecasts that would have gone into the design of the whole immigration white paper, which we continue to await the details of. I haven't necessarily seen anything immediate that jumps to mind. Okay. Said that, I do think that speaking English, writing English, ultimately it's a necessary basic requirement to be able to do many of those jobs better and be able to integrate economically better. But we await details of the statistical models behind those.
A very important variable here also continues to be the care worker recruitment, Sanam. So what impact could ending care worker recruitment from abroad have on the already widestretch social care sector in the UK. And we time and again, we've heard reports after reports, of how stretched the sector actually is.
I think this is one where the impact is going to be quite significant, quite immediate, and quite worrying, in fact, from the point of view of how will we ensure that the care sector, which, as you correctly said, is already quite overburdened, how are we going to now ensure that from within the current pool of labor that's available, how do we get that right amount and the right quality of skilled labor available to be able to do those very, very technically skilled but also emotionally compassionate jobs, which not everyone has. So that is something that, we remain to see. The government's of the view that of the current pool that's available in the UK, that with the appropriate training, the right number can be determined. But I think all sector stakeholders, particularly from the nursing side and on the overall care economy side, have raised massive concerns around this.